Hello and welcome to the Rotherham United podcast. We are now in the week of death with the first game of the week with a 0-0 draw away at Huddersfield Town. So we're going to go through that, and then we're also going to look ahead to the second game this week, second of four, as we play host to Queen's Park Rangers. That was Ben's chair, for anybody that wondered what that sound was.
I heard that, sorry.
If there's ever a noise, it's 99 times out of 100, it's Ben. Yeah. Mick's with us. Hello, Michael.
Hello.
And as you can all tell, Ben's with us because he's making fidgety noises.
Hello.
Hello. So the game itself, 0-0. Comfortably the better team, Mick.
Yeah. By a country mile, weren't it? You know, a disappointing result. Good performance. Really pleased with the performance overall. Obviously, finishing let us down throughout the game, really. But as a whole, the performance was just chalk and cheese in comparison to the one against Wycombe. So it's a good start to the week in terms of performances. Results maybe not quite so.
Yeah. Ben, finishing was literally the only thing that let us down, wasn't it? Just hitting the target.
Yeah, I thought the performance was good, but that finishing was unacceptable, I think. I think we should have scored. I think it's when we're down there, I think looking back on it, that could cost us. It could send us down. Because if we don't win against Coventry, then that game's massive. So they've dug a hole for themselves, but hopefully they can get out of it.
Yeah, and it's one of the things this time of season. If we're sat here in November, we're saying that everything's all right because the point's a decent result and it was a pretty good performance. We're now at the stage of the season where performances are relevant. If we'd have played garbage and snuck a 1-0 win, we'd be laughing.
Yeah.
But because of the situation we're in and we didn't win, that's why we're frustrated for that. So, we'll get on with the game. We'll talk about some individual performances and then several key incidents in this game. Start with the lineup. Ben, 3-5-2, 3-5-1-1, if I'm technical about it. Sunday was back in. Crooks was back in his favoured position, and Ben Wiles was in his favoured position. It was a really, really, really positive starting 11 for me, I think.
Yeah, it was very attacking. It was probably our best 11, I'd say. At this moment in time, bar Matic, I'd probably put us. I don't know. I think Harding and Matic, you can see what Matic comes back like, but that would probably have been our starting 11, and then that position's a 50-50 left wing back. So, yeah, I was really happy with the team, and it showed in performance.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Matt Sunday had a very good game, Mick, with somebody we didn't mention in the live show, but he was back to his normal self, marauding down that right-hand side. It was a little bit quieter than maybe normal, but he still had those moments where he looked a real threat, and defensively, basically pretty sound.
Yeah, defensively he was sound. I think attacking wise, he's just a little bit off the pace. He's not taking players on as many times as he did in the past when he was causing the problems. I don't know why that is. He just looks a little bit less confident. I don't know, but you know, he is back to. We play differently once he's in the team. When he's in the team, and I'm not saying for 1 minute that it's because he's in the team, but it is a bit of a coincidence, you know what I mean? It just gives us that bit more freedom, certainly down that right-hand side. When he's not playing, we don't seem to have that. You know, Giles tries to do it from left back, and he's just not up to it yet. So yeah, it's a different team when Matt Sunday plays.
Defensively, Ben, we were very, very sound. There was one moment in the second half where the ball just dropped in the 6-yard box and Johansson had to make a save. But other than that, defensively, there were no real issue. I know they're a team that's not really in particularly good form, but number one, it's a clean sheet, which is always good. But number two, we look pretty solid at back, and that's a good. Again, going into this week, that's a good base to jump off from. Is a solid back line.
Yeah, I think especially in the position we're in, I think a solid back line is good. I think it was because Wood was in the team. He's just everything, man. I mean, you're not going to get Maldini Everyone knows that, but it just brings something mentally and just I don't know. You know what I mean? I think it was because of Wood, but everyone else had a good game. McDonald, Harding, Icky, they all had a good game and didn't concede. So that's a big positive to take from it. Even though we didn't win, 0-0 is very good, I think.
Yeah, it's all right.
I think that central three.
Not to concede is good.
Yes.
That central three there, Woody, McDonald, and Icky, are getting better and better as the season goes on, and it's a great time for them now to really come together. They are excellent together. They really are. A shout out for Angus Mcdonald because he really did dip in the middle of the season, and I was questioning, like Ben did, whether he was
questioned it from the start.
No, I know you did.
Whatever period of time that you questioned it from, I was beginning to agree with you. But he certainly shut me up with his performances over recent times. I think anyway, he's been outstanding. And we know what Icky's like. We know how good Icky is and can be. How solid he is, and with Woody in between them, I think that's a really good combo. Hopefully, because of the positions that they play in, hopefully they might see all these 4 games out. It would be great if we could. It would be fantastic. It'd be massive for us. So we'll see.
Yeah, I completely agree. On Woody, mentioned before the game, it was his 450th league career start, which is a ridiculous amount of games to be playing. Moving further forward, Ben, we talked a lot last week about playing players in certain positions. We'll start with Ben Wiles. He was in the midfield. He sort of seemed to stay on the left-hand side of the midfield for the whole game, which is fine, central midfield. But he was, for me, and I assume you're going to agree, the best player on the pitch yesterday, Ben Wiles.
Yeah. I don't see how you can't play him in midfield next time. I mean, what he brings is unmatched. He's so good. That little dropping shoulder type on, I don't know the defender, but
for Crooks' chance.
Yeah, a poor pass. But that little, that little drop in the shoulder, you can't really teach that to do that. You can teach someone how to pass. You know what I mean? But I think he's so good all round. I think he's smart, football smart. And he's our own. I can't believe it. I don't know about you two, but I don't remember the last time. Well, I'm not going to remember, but the last time someone come out of our academy and did well for us. I don't know.
David Artell probably came through the academy, but he only lasted a season or 2, didn't he?
He did. Will Hoskins is the one that springs to mind for me. It was everybody thought there were big things going to come in a Will Hoskins, but he's not Ben Wiles.
No.
Not by any stretch of the imagination. And he got a big money move, didn't he, to Watford, and that didn't go particularly well for him. But some people don't agree with us.
I know, I was saying this.
The quote that I would go to is that he's overrated, which
I saw that. That's mad.
Utterly beggars
belief.
Yeah,
on Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why. I mean, people have got their opinions, and I get that. I do understand that, and we all see the game differently, don't we? We all see how the game pans out differently, see how players play differently. But I don't understand. I don't. I mean, I'm not gonna start calling people because it's your right to say what you want about players, but I just don't understand it. I don't. Yeah, he has bad games, and when he has bad games, we'll criticise him with everyone else. But to say that he's an overrated player just beggars belief for me. I don't really know what you're watching. I don't. I mean,
I could not agree more. I don't know what more he could do when he's played in his central positions. I don't know how to make a watch yesterday and say he's overrated. No. He was best player on pitch from both teams.
It's bizarre.
Yeah. That particular setup for the Crooks chance, he did so well. The defender didn't have a clue what were happening. and it just stitched the defender up somewhat rotten. And there's not many players on the team that can do that from that position. He's got everything. His ball control is really, really good. He's got that burst of pace, which is why I think that's why Wongy likes playing him out wide, because he has got that little bit of pace, which nobody else has really got in that midfield role. It was comfortably. I mean, we could talk about now. We'll talk about this first, I suppose. The chance at the end. He should have hit the target, Mick, but watching the replay, when Wiles strikes the ball, Crooksy stood in front of the keeper. And he is in offside position, so it probably wouldn't have counted anyway.
It shouldn't have made a difference where Crooksy was stood, because he chose to put it in the wrong place. It needed to go back across the face of the goal into a gaping, wide open net. The goalkeeper can dive all he wants underneath Crooksy to try and get the ball, because the ball's going the opposite way, and therefore Crooksy's not offside. It would probably have been given, like you say. But yeah, I mean, he made a mistake. But what I would say is, so did Crooksy. Crooksy hit the post from the run from Ben Wiles earlier on in the first half. So maybe Crooksy's overrated as well. I don't know.
Yeah. It's staying in the midfield three. I thought again, Lewis Wingben. I thought he were excellent as well. He didn't far off run the show.
Yeah, I think he did well, but I can definitely see why he's been sent out on loan. I think some of his... No, you know what I mean. I think some of his mental immaturities. Like that free kick, that was a good idea. It was a very smart idea. Good execution as well, to be honest. Right. But all I'm saying is I would have done it. And I would never have done it in a million years. In the situation we're in, like, no. And it's just some of the other stuff, like, it was a good idea, right? But some of the other stuff that he does, like shoot from edge of box, and when there's no one behind him and stuff like this, you can see his immaturities come through, and it's going to cost us. I'm going to call it right here. You can hold me to it. It's going to cost us a goal, a big goal. I can guarantee it. So yeah, I thought he played really well, but he's going to cost us. I think he's too immature for my liking.
He's not shooting from left, right, and centre from 55 yards. When you're 25 yards out in front of goal, and there's a shot on goal, you should be taking it. Crooksy should be taking it. I'd like to see Wiles shoot a bit more from edge of area, because he can hit a ball. Barley's can hit a ball.
No,
Winger's got the confidence. Well, have you watched this? What?
Unless you Will Volks, I personally wouldn't shoot. But that's my opinion. I see the game. I don't see the game as a long range thing. But that's.
I seem to recall Barley's free kicks being pretty good, shooting from distance. Yeah. And his penalties. If he can strike a penalty like that, he can strike a football from that area like that. He just doesn't do it.
I don't see the game as long. I don't like it. I've played with people who shoot from long distance, and it made me want to rip their head off. When I'm wide open, you know what I mean? So I don't see the game like that. But like I said, Mick said, everyone sees the game differently. But that's just my opinion. I thought he played well. Don't get me wrong. But yeah,
I thought he had a really good game. I thought he ran that midfield probably with did a better job than Dan Barley's does, just on the basis that he's got that little bit more aggression and that bit more presence than Barley's has. But Dan Barley's is a young lad. You know what I mean? He's going to have to grow physically as well to just get himself that little bit more of a physical presence in there. But because he's got all the other tools, and they're very similar players. And I thought he had a really good game. Yeah, I thought that central midfield, even with Jamie, and I thought Jamie Lindsay played well as well. He's still clearly not up to speed, or whatever combination of those words sounds right. But you know what I mean. Yeah, I thought that central midfield were really, really effective.
Do you think that's our strongest midfield three?
Yes.
Yeah, probably centrally. Yeah, I think it probably is. Which is a bit of a disappointment, really, because Barley's is such a good player. He is such a good player, but we're not in a position at the moment where we can have. He's also a bit of a luxury player, I think, because he hasn't got that those battling qualities that the others have got. That was physicality, the position that we're in, we need to fight for everything, absolutely everything. And much as I love him to bits, Dan Barlaser is probably not your man for that role.
He's still early in his footballing career, though. Really, it's 3 years.
Yeah.
I think it's his third year of senior football. And to be fair, Lewis Ring's the type of player he can learn off. I know Lewis Ring's not exactly a fully experienced player, but there's a lot of similarities in terms of how good technically they both are.
Definitely.
I think that's an area for Barlaser to learn from. And Barlaser, we're certainly not slating Barlaser.
No,
he's just a different. No. He's just not quite at the level. It's not. I don't think he's a championship player yet. He's got the quality to be a championship player. I just don't think he's quite there yet. But that'll remains to be seen in years to come. Moving ever slightly further forward, Ben, Matt Crooks, Michael Smith as effectively your front two, but obviously Crooks was just slightly deeper. I know Crooks should have scored, but he was much, much better. It was much more effective to the game being in that more advanced position than he has been.
Yeah, well, the chance, I don't think he'd have got that if Freddie was playing. I don't think he'd been given the freedom to go that far. So I said this on the live. I think I've been seeing them all play the whole, all three of them, then just Freddie and Smith, then just Crooks and Smith. I think Crooks and Smith is the best way to go with it, personally. I think Crooks did play well, back to his old self. So, yeah, it's a shame to see Freddie dropping, because I thought it was just playing well. But, that's like cookie crumbles, isn't it?
Yeah.
In this business.
Yeah, it is. And that chance, Mick, he should have buried that. I know it took a deflection. Ben thinks it were off target. I think it were on target, and it's deflected onto the post. But at the same time, it's a similar one with Wiles. They both could have took a touch and just steadied themselves. And I know you don't really want to. You want to hit first time. But they did have that little bit of time to just take a moment.
Yeah, I run both of those chances through my head many times since the game finished. and every time the one from Wiles has gone to the right of the goalkeeper, to the right of the net as we're looking at it. And the one from Crooks has gone in the top corner. He just needed to get a little bit of air on that, and then it's going in. But listen, none of these are missed on purpose, are they? You know what I mean? The build-up play for both efforts was outstanding. It was really, really good. We're creating the chances, like we did against Wickham. To be fair, we did against Wickham. We did create a load. I just hope this is not going to become a bit of a monkey on our back. You know what I mean? Of not being able to score 3 games on the trot now, which is a bit of a worry. But I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine in that area. Just when one comes, there's going to be a dozen.
You've got to get Cooks and Smith in properly together as well.
Yeah.
There were a couple of subs, but there were no majors. Right, Giles came on for Sunday. Olsen maybe has a slight calf problem, but I don't think that's going to. Well, Warney doesn't think it's going to be a major issue, but he may very well rest him for Tuesday if he's not 100% fit. When I say rest, I mean not rushing back. Bear in mind what we've got, and also Lindsay came off Barlaser with 10 minutes left.
Yeah, I don't see why Barlaser has to come on. I mean, no offense to the
Lindsay,
kid.
I think. It's only 10 minutes.
True, but no offense to the kid. My mum can run quicker than him, and when you're trying to go for the win and try and inject pace, which I don't know, that might not have been his goal. Right, that's what I thought we should have done. But like I said, I'm not a football manager, but I don't know what his aim was. Maybe it's more ball, but yeah, I don't think Barlas is the type to come off the bench.
I think we're more to give us a bit more set piece quality, because that's somewhere where Barlaser does triumph over wing. Set pieces for Barlaser is much better, and just to get a bit more calmness on the ball, because when you're 0-0 and you've got so much at ball, it can become very, very easy for everything to become a bit more rushed and a bit more panicky. We were comfortable at ball. We were never really under pressure in the second half. No. So Barlaser has that extra little bit of time to put his foot on ball, to pick a pass, to do this, that, and other. So I can see the thinking behind that. And it also takes off Lindsay for 10 minutes. I know it's only 10 minutes, but 10 minutes of professional football is still a lot of energy. So it gives you that little bit of rest spell.
For so long as well.
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly.
And we've got these games coming up where he's going to be crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. Penalty incident. Richard Wood was ran into by, I can't remember where it, Sarr, I think. I can't remember now.
I think it was Sarr,
I'm going to use the word that Paul Warne used to make I've seen him given. I don't think it was a nailed-on penalty, but I've seen him given a lot.
Why is it not a nailed-on penalty?
I think if he's stopped, all that's happened is Wood is stopped. So the player has, in other circumstances, if that's Jamie Vardy and Jamie Vardy stops and lets somebody run into him, you're saying that he's manufactured the contact. It's only because it's Richard Wood that you're saying he's not manufactured the contact.
Why has he stopped? He stopped because he's got the ball at his feet and he's right on the touchline. If he doesn't stop, then the ball goes out of play. It's a goal kick. Of course, he's stopped. You know, and it's not a shoulder to shoulder. I'm not having this shoulder barge nonsense. It's shoulder to back.
No. Yeah.
So listen, that's a penalty all day long. If it's the other way around and Woody does it to one of their players, still a penalty. It's a penalty. But you know, whether or not, I mean, I've seen a load of people again on social media saying, well, even if we got it, we'd have missed it. I don't know how that happens. I don't know. Maybe I've direct messaged all these people asking them for 6 numbers for Friday night. But, I don't know whether they're going to come back to me on that. But yeah, I mean, it's a penalty. End of.
Ben?
I'm not having that. I'm trying to find it to watch it. It's not a penalty.
I can't find a replay for it.
If I'm playing five-a-side football and someone does that, we don't even think twice. It's not a penalty for someone to go down like that. I think I don't know what he's doing.
Well, Woody's not dived, does he? That's what we can say.
Right. Woody's a big lad. How much force do you think he's going to take to knock him down? Flat face.
Sarr's a big lad, to be fair.
He's a big lad.
I'm not having that. I'm not having that.
Please yourself, mate.
Please yourself, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because, all right, that's fine.
Watching it back now, and watching it back, and Woody stepped across him. Woody wasn't running in a straight line. Woody stepped across him in front of the ball. You know what Mattock does, where he puts himself in between the ball and the man? It's not a clear-cut penalty. I think it probably is a penalty.
Well,
and I'm not normally on Ben's.
You're going for a penalty. You're going for if you go for the penalty, it's automatically in my head not a penalty. If you play to get a free kick, you aren't playing football. You just aren't. The game of football is to score and win the game by outscoring the opponent, right? The goal is not to get free kicks. That is not the aim of the game. So to play the game for that goes against everything you should be playing the game for.
I agree.
It's embarrassing. It's insulting because people who don't have the chance to play the game at that level and who love the game and just want to compete, and then people like that competing for fouls is embarrassing.
It's part of the game, man. Whether you like it or not, it's part of the game. It is part of the game.
I don't watch any other football than Rotherham because that's
no
the
point
why.
Getting but yeah, but
I'm not getting upset. I'm not getting upset. I'm not crying or I'm not screaming and shouting, am I? But I don't watch football anymore. Right? I watch Rotherham. I don't even watch Rotherham sometimes, right? Because it's part of the game. I don't watch Premier League. Premier League's one of the worst leagues in Europe.
You don't watch it, how do you know?
When I do watch it, when I put it on past 2 weeks. Mick, what game was I watching with you the other week? I can't remember. It was awful.
A Man U game.
It was like watching basketball. Every 2 minutes, whistles going. Like, part of the game.
Listen, I agree with Ben. It's not part of the game. It never will be part of the game. It isn't.
It is.
It's cheating. But that were a penalty.
Having watched it back, Woody looks at the man. Woody looks at his shoulder and sees the man coming and then lets the contact happen. I think it's probably a penalty. Probably. But only because Sarr's been very, very clumsy. But I don't think it's nailed on. But you look at this season, you look at all the fouls that have and haven't been given this season. Yeah. Based on that, it should have been given.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll not let Ben get into another rant.
I don't think I was a rant, but yeah.
It was definitely a rant.
Yeah, that was a rant, Ben. Definitely.
Yeah.
True.
Crooks also had an offside goal ruled out. I can't find a replay of that anywhere. It's not in the highlights or anything. But at the time, I didn't have any complaints. Do either you two remember any complaints with the offside based on line?
I don't know the rules, so I can't really comment on it, to be honest.
Okay.
You don't know. I mean, they change every time I have a hot meal, so I don't really know what I can't really keep up with it anymore.
Okay. Nick?
I don't really know the rule either. Is it when the player's behind the goalkeeper, there's got to be two other players behind the goalkeeper as well, otherwise it's offside.
So all times, if there's only there has to be two people behind you for it to be offside. So normally that would be a goalkeeper and the last defender.
It doesn't matter who the players are. So if the keeper's up for the corner, right, and there's one player back, and he's not in his own half, is that still offside? It's got to be, hasn't it?
To be onside, there must be more than one player between you and the goal.
So that'd be offside then, wouldn't it?
So if there's only one defender on the line and Crooks is also on the line, that's offside. If there was a second defender on the line, doesn't matter if it's keeper or not, if there's a second player on the line and Crooks is also on the line, then that should be onside.
So using that rule, and I don't get it, and somebody I'm sure will tell us about this. Let's say the goalkeeper comes up for a corner in the last minute.
That's what I just said. Yeah,
and the ball's cleared, and two players break away with that ball over the halfway line. No defenders chase them; they are on their own. The person who's in possession of the ball has to score. He cannot pass it.
You can pass it backwards, can't you?
Why is it?
No, if you passed it, you can't be. You can only be offside from a forward pass if the player's in front of the ball.
So I know what you mean.
So if
there's one defender marking them, and what the player passes it to him, is he offside? Because there's only one defender left.
Yeah. It's the equivalent of being one on you one-on-one. You're one-on-one with a player. It's the equivalent of being one-on-one with the keeper. You can't just pass it forward.
If there's no players there, if you pass it forward to the player, you are the only two players in that half. You pass it forward
behind the ball.
If he's behind the ball, that's fine. If he's in front of the ball and it's a forward pass, that's offside.
Even if there isn't an opposition player in that half.
That would be offside if he passed it forward. That would be offside.
There's nobody there.
It doesn't matter if that would be offside. I know what you mean, mate, but he would still be offside.
Can we just cut this bit out?
If there's two players, right, and for audio people, I'm going to explain this. There's two players, right, and there's a defender, and they're going one-on-one, and the defender goes to tackle him, and the other player is not behind the ball, but is behind the defender, and the other player passes it to that player. Is he offside?
Yeah,
it must be.
There's got to be a goalkeeper plus one to be onside, or two players. It's very, very rare. It's very rare that thing happens.
Yeah,
but yeah. Anyway,
I have no complaints about it, despite not understanding rule.
Cool. So moving ahead, just we're going to quick review of the Fan Hub predictions. If you haven't already downloaded the Fan Hub app, keep an eye out for some codes to allow you to jump the queue. There's about 70 or 80 people in there at the moment. Me and Mick had a perfect weekend, both nailing 11 out of 11. I know they had some issues with checking in on the game, but that's been worked on as far as where that is picked. I've taken myself up to 6th in the Rotherham United table. The top three are Matt K, 22, Ronnie Moore is 2nd, and Gleeboy is 3rd. So yeah, Miller Mick, I am above Mick, and Ben is 18th.
Yeah, let's not talk about where I am.
That's just not right. I mean, I got the same as you, and I go down a place. You get the same as me and go up 15 places. I don't know how that works.
So, to everybody that does have the Fan Hub app,
I know why.
I'm
You've been doing it to me as well. You don't look it.
If anybody has the Fan Hub app, they're waiting. There's 3 ways to get your scores improved. That's number 1 is picking the correct lineup. Number 2 is to check in. There will be a 3rd one next year where you can check it. You'll measure your distance travelled. to away games and whatever. The fourth way is to listen to our podcast through the app. So if you listen to our podcast, read the articles, things such as that, it's the fan feed part of the app, and that will increase your fan hub rating going forward. And that's why I've picked up, because I realised that. So if anyone would like to catch up with us all, that'd be lovely.
That, Matthew. Sneaky.
We will do our fan hub predictions for Tuesday, but I'm going to leave it as late as possible, certainly after the pre-match press conference, because then we don't know at the minute. We'll move on to the QPR game now. Make what's going to happen? What team's going to play? We're going to make 6-7 changes. Are you going to play starting 11? What are you going to do?
It's got to go for it. It's got to go for it, in my view, because we didn't get 3 points yesterday on Saturday. Then we have to go for it. Don't change it. Don't change it. We don't change it, in my view, until somebody's, in Ben's words, somebody's leg drops off. It was a good performance on Saturday. No issues. Keep playing like that, and we will stay up. I'm sure of it. If we continue to play like that, as soon as we find our shooting boots, that's it. We're going to be fine as long as we find him at next 2 or 3 games. That is, obviously, and don't lose. So no, go for it, mate. For me, same team. Let's have him.
But if you're going to,
they've got nothing to play for. I accept that they beat Piggies on Saturday, but they're absolutely on the beach. They ain't going for playoffs. They ain't going to get relegated. Let's have them. Come on.
But
same team.
You can't start the same team on Tuesday and then start the same team on Thursday and expect them to play at the same level. It's just not possible.
Yeah, possibly not.
I think
possibly not. But we
need
3
2
points.
days rest. 3 days rest.
You have a day's rest between Tuesday and
Thursday. There's going to be no training in there in between, is there? There's going to be no physical training in between. You've got a day recovery, and then you've got 6 months recovery coming up, 3 months recovery coming up. Sorry.
Yeah.
But that's how we've got to view it that way, and then the players, I would think, have got to view it that way. You know, all these green zone, red zones, injury-wise at the moment, that's going to go out the window because times are different. These are exceptional circumstances, so you've got to go for it.
Okay, I think we've got to change it. If we weren't playing Thursday, keep it exactly the same. We can't play Tuesday at the foot for 100%. And then go ahead and play Thursday for the same team at 100%, Ben. I know you'll probably disagree with me, but I can't see it.
Yeah. The thing is, right, we are in a situation which hasn't happened since the war. Probably, I don't know, I wasn't around. Mick, you know what I mean? You might have been there. You know what I mean? So you have to treat it like a situation that hasn't happened since the war. So like Mick said, these green zone, red zone things, I'm not sure how they work. Sounds like a load of crap to me. Red zone injury, and the player knows if he's nearly injured or not. You know what I mean? You can't tell someone about the other thing. Do you think
Jamie Lindsay knew his hamstring were going to go?
No. But yeah, okay. But I can't tell you about your own body. If you, there's a difference, right, between being tired and being fatigued. You can see someone be tired. You can't see someone being fatigued. The only the player knows. I'm not going. Yeah, but that's it. I'm not going to say about that. But yeah, same team. Whoever wants to play. If someone says, "Oh, can you put me out? I'm tired." Yeah, put him out. He don't play for the rest of the season.
Yeah, but it's not as simple as that, is it? Yeah.
If you wants it,
let's say Richard Wood. Richard Wood is almost certainly not going to go to Warney, and you know what? I'm just not feeling up to it today. That's Richard Wood clearly doesn't work like that. Yeah, but if they know from the biometric, from everything else, if they know could be on the verge of getting an injury, or not even getting an injury, on the verge of not being able to play at 100%. Why are you playing him? Because he can't play at 100%.
How do they know that?
Woody, for example, cannot play these. I don't think he can play all 4 of these games.
How do they know that then? How do they know that? It's impossible to tell someone else about their own body. I'm not a sports scientist. But you can tell. You can tell from the range. So you compare. Again, I'm not a sports scientist. But you sort of compare somebody. So at the start of the season, you have pre-season. So you've got a baseline for everybody. Let's say sprints, for example.
So they've got a baseline what their best sprint is in pre-season. If they're doing 15, 20% below their sprint level, then they are not at 100% as a really basic example. So they of course they wear these Prozone or whatever they're called now. They wear them little vests underneath the shirt. That gives them that data throughout the game, so they can see what level those players are at all the time. And this is not just Rotherham United that do this. This is basically all professional football that do this. You might get some managers that listen to it more or less than others, but if that stat's telling you that Crooksy is only at 75% match fitness for Tuesday's game, well, if he's at 75% match fitness for Tuesday's game, what's he going to be for Thursday's game? He's going to be below 50%, probably. As a very basic example.
I think it's mine doesn't matter. I don't think any of these percentages mean anything. You'd have to hold me back. If I'm 90% to get injury, what the hell is that? You don't know. You can't predict. I don't understand it. I'm not a sports scientist. But it sounds like a lot of rubbish to me. I might be wrong, but yeah, I think you'd have to hold you'd have to hold Woody back and physically restrain him before he goes onto the pitch, and that's why I want him playing every game. Because of that, that sets the example that everyone else needs to have. But back to the original question about the team, I don't know. It's so hard to say without being in that dressing room and seeing everyone's attitude towards it on who should start. So, Woody, one-man team, that's it.
Yeah. Well, what I will say is we've seen it before. So when we've played a Wednesday game and then gone to a Saturday game, we have struggled in the past. So when we played Sheffield Wednesday in October on a Wednesday night, and then we went and played Stoke on the following Saturday, they had 2 days full with rest, but there was a significant decrease in performance levels in that following game. And we had a 4-day rest before that game, and then we had a 2-day rest, and there was still a significant drop in performance. This is now an even more extreme version because we're more than partway through the season, and you've only got 1 day between the games. So this is what I'm saying. It clearly affects teams like high energy teams like Rotherham are going to be massively impacted by this.
You have to go back to that Huddersfield game though, and we didn't press as high and as strongly as we have pressed earlier in the season, just like we didn't against Wickham. We were stronger in the press, and we pressed more against Huddersfield than we did against Wickham. But it wasn't to any degree the same intensity that it has been, because it didn't need to be, because Huddersfield were crap. They weren't very good at keeping the ball themselves. Well, let's be fair, they weren't. So they did half the job for us, which is great. Fingers crossed, QPR might be doing the same thing. They're not interested, or they're there. QPR have got nothing to play for, nothing at all. So fingers crossed they're going to come and just sort of hopefully pay lip service to the game. I hope anyway. Likewise with the likes of Middlesbrough. If Birmingham are actually out of it by the time we play them, they may do the same as well. I don't think they're that interested, are they? So long as they're safe. No. So and likewise again, Blackburn, Cardiff, these teams are really not that. They've not got a lot to play for. Maybe Cardiff have at the moment, but we'll see anyway. But for me, because the same team, get in there. Let's get in the ribs. Let's get in the face. See what we can.
It's been interesting, because even if let's say for argument's sake we do make changes, we're going to be seeing some different players. If we met, I'm not saying we're going to, but if you made 6 changes, that means Sadler is going to get a start. That means Chio might get a start. That means Clark might get a start. We're going to see some different players. And the good thing about those potential changes would be is they're going to be well up for it. Not just because we're in a relegation fight, but Sadler, for example, he's moved to Rotherham United to get Championship football, and he's not been getting Championship football. Yeah. In his mind, he'll be thinking, well, Crooks is playing over me. I can do a number 10 role. He scored plenty of goals for Donny last season. Yeah. It gives that extra little bit of motivation.
This is where it comes in, though. This is where you tell, because there's 2 types of athletes, right? The one that is going to perform come hell or high water. He just wants to play football, right? And there's the other one that's very emotional and he's not going to play, something's going on, and he gets down a lot. Do you know what I mean? There's 2 types. And in this situation, sadly, I can either, why is Cooks playing, man? I'm just going to let my contract run out and go somewhere else. Or he can try and fight for it. And it's going to be a test because he's going to have to play. Cooks, like, as long as I've said, same team, whatever, no one can play 90 minutes, all games. Excuse me, right? So sadly, we'll have to play. We're going to see what type of person he is. And I'm excited for it, to be honest. Same with Chio. We haven't really seen, because we didn't get tested in League One. You don't get tested when you're in the top half of the table. You just don't. So, yeah.
Yeah. And you never know. Georgios might get a start. That'd be exciting, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Well, if you can bang an hat-trick, then I'm not bothered, to be honest.
Yeah. We've said it before, we'll say it again. I still think not just him, but he has a part to play between now and the end of the season. Whether he takes that chance that he's going to be given is a different question completely. He's going to get some more game time. And if he can take his chance, if he ends up scoring 2 goals this season, and they're the 2 goals that keep us up, it's been a good loan.
Yeah.
Will that happen?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Just a quick mention for we do stats and things, don't we? So on last game was Crooks' 200th league appearance. So that's good mark for him. There are a few landmark games that could come up on Tuesday. So Angus Mcdonald's next game will be his 100th in the Championship. Jamie Lindsay's next game will be his 50th league game for us.
Wow.
Icky's next game will be his 125th for Rotherham in all competitions. And Wes Harding's next game will be his 100th career professional game in his career as well. So big numbers for those, individual landmarks for those players. On to QPR, they have won 5 out of the last 8 games and also having won 11 from 18 since the turn of the year. When we played them last time, Samuel was their bright player, but he isn't there anymore. He left in January to go to Fenerbahce, so it's going to be interesting to see how much of a different team they're going to be, because they were completely reliant on him in October, November, and now they haven't got him, but they are winning again, so it's odd.
It is odd, but team, everybody can beat anybody, can't they? So they're not. It's not as though they're a bad side, but they were over reliant on Bright Samuel. So yeah, I mean he's gone, and like I said, they've got nothing to play for. They're not in any. They're just a nowhere club. They are where we want to be, aren't they? You know what I mean? A nowhere Championship club. I'll be happy with that. If we could have a couple of seasons at that. So I don't think they've not got a lot to offer. Surely, nothing that we should be scared of if we can play to our ability, which we have done in that last game. So yeah, I'm not frightened of it. I'm not frightened of it at all. I'm less frightened of it than I was of Huddersfield on Saturday. So we can get something out of this game, and it will be massive. 3 points out of this game would be just enormous going into Thursday. It would, yeah. Absolutely fantastic. So
it'd set it up, wouldn't it? It'd set it up to be the blockbuster it could be.
Definitely, yeah.
This will be the 20th meeting between us and QPR. We won 6 of those 20. Well, 6 of the 19 that's gone so far. We are unbeaten in our last 2 home games against them, but we have only won 1 of our last 5, and that dates back to the 80s. They were in Premier League, weren't they, a lot, so we didn't play them a lot. Their top scorer, Ben, is Lyndon Dykes, who has 9 goals. It's not Bobby Z, no. Lyndon Dykes has 9 goals, but 4 of them were penalties. Did he score a penalty against us?
He might have done.
God knows, I don't know.
Can't remember. Rings a bell.
There's how many penalties in today's game, I would never know.
Yeah. Ben, thoughts are the same as Mick, that they hopefully will be on the beach, and if we turn up at 100%, we not flatten them, but we could be good.
Well, I can't name any of their players apart from that Samuel guy last time. I don't even think any of them had a touch, did they? I thought they just sat down on the bench and watched him play.
Chair plays from, doesn't he? Chair.
No, I'm sorry. He was everything, that Samuel. He was quality. Is he English? I hope he's English. He will look very, very good. I doubt it. Yeah, I doubt it. He was a good player. He scored
he is English.
good goal. McDonald was in the wrong place, but he would have scored anyway. So I'm looking forward to it. Like you said, 11 out of 18 they've won. I don't know how. Touch wood, but they were awful last time we had him. They looked like they were going to be awful. You know what I mean? Might have to get Bobby Zamora out of the time.
They had Charlie Austin, who did play.
Yeah, he was.
Last week.
Yeah,
But he didn't play at the weekend.
To Southampton, didn't he? Oh, is he back there?
He's back there now. Yeah.
He was there the first time, didn't he?
Yeah, it's been back. Yeah. Let me have a look. He was not on the bench on weekends. I don't know if he's injured.
If I remember the first time he was there, he were banging him in all the time when he was on the 8th form.
Yeah, it's a good championship player. They do have former Miller, Dominic Ball, playing for them. I seem to remember he played quite well against their place.
He was a young, he was a young lad when he was Bernie Evans.
He was near where Stubbs signing, wasn't he?
Yeah, let's not mention Stubbs.
Unfortunately, garbage for us. I spent most of his time out on loan, didn't he?
What did you expect? We had Stubbs in charge.
Yeah, well, Warney never fancied him, did he? He put a bit of money in there. Ref watch, Mick. Do you have ref watch?
Yeah, Dean Whitehouse. Not a lot of him. Whitestone, my apologies. Despite the fact I've got it written down in front of me, I still read it wrong. I don't think he's ever refereed us, as far as I can see.
I don't think he has a name.
A long time ago. Again, well, not as long as Lee Mason.
No.
He refed us in 2018 when we beat Gillingham away 1-0.
So what is interesting for Tuesday night is that the Piggies are playing Swansea at Swillsborough, and the referee for that game is one Matthew Donoghue, Swansea City darling. And just in case that wasn't bad enough at Piggies, the fourth official's Jeff Eltringham. So I don't fancy them getting anything out of that game. I think it's going to be about 17-0 to Swansea, 16 of which will be penalties in the last 5 minutes of injury time.
Makes sense.
What, injury time of 30 minutes?
Yeah. No, 7 minutes injury time, but in 17.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But but it'll go 30 minutes.
Yeah.
On Lee Mason from the weekend, briefly, I thought he had an okay game, the referee. Other than his adding of injury time, I thought he did all right. The injury time were a joke, though, wasn't it?
I don't even know they had injury time anymore. I think they just pick a number after something stand. It doesn't correlate at all with what actually happens in the game anymore.
I mean, his watch clearly weren't working, was it?
No.
He guessed at a minute for first half, and he guessed at 2 for second, and then it puts 2 minutes up. I'm sure this is what you're going to mention, Matt, so I'll steal your thunder anyway, because I like
Go for it.
It puts 2 minutes injury time up. Their goalkeeper gets ball. 37 seconds later, or 38 seconds later, he decides to get up and kick it, and yet he still blows. Bang on 2. It's like...
No, at 1:57 he blew. So before...
He did blow early. Yeah.
What is it?
So, but anyway, whatever. To be fair, if that's the only criticism we've got of a referee on a Saturday afternoon, it's got to be a good weekend, hasn't it, to be fair?
Yeah.
Because after some of the dross we've seen this season, you can tell he's a proper Premier League referee. So, he were all right, weren't he?
Yeah, fine. Cool. Anything else you want to add before we finish?
No. Hang on.
No.
Cool. So this will be on Monday. So you'll listen to this Monday or Tuesday prior to the game. The may or may not be a post-match show on Tuesday. We will let you know via the social media areas. They will then be back on Thursday for the pre-match. Podcast will be out on Thursday morning, as per usual. Although it's live on Sky against Coventry, we won't be doing a watch along. We'll be doing a live. The podcast will be live on YouTube straight after the game, but then that will also be the podcast that comes out Friday morning, which will be a look ahead to Birmingham on Sunday. Again, there may or may not be a watch along for the Birmingham game. That's something we're working on. But with kids and stuff, it's difficult to do a watch along in the middle of the day without them interrupting. So
I'm sure one or both of your daughters would be more than happy to be involved in a watch along, Matthew.
One of them did. One of them did tell me that they were going to do a football podcast that would be better than Daddy's. So we've got competition.
Yeah. To be fair, she's not going to have to work very hard, is she?
No. Well, that's our schedule for the week. So I've 3 or 4 podcasts this week, and then we're still going. We're live on telly against Middlesbrough next Wednesday at 6:00. So we've got all that to look forward to. But yeah, it's the biggest week of our season. This one, unless it goes well, and then next week becomes the biggest week of our season, and if that goes well, and so on and so on. Let's get behind them as much as we can. I know we're not there, but it was a positive place to be on Twitter and Facebook for the most part at the weekend.
Yeah.
And as much as with players probably say they don't look at social media, they will see certain things. So hopefully we can be positive, get behind the Millers, and hopefully touching wood, crossing fingers, we can get safety secured and send Coventry down. Unfortunately for them,
it would be massive, wouldn't it? It would be massive. So
yeah. We haven't mentioned the results. Basically went our way at the weekend. Coventry lost, Piggies lost, Wickham lost, Birmingham won, but then Derby lost. They're back in it a little bit. Wickham are probably dead and buried. Wednesday aren't far off dead and buried, and we've still got a fight going on with Coventry. More than likely just Coventry, but we'll wait and see. So, thank you, Ben. It's been a pleasure. You definitely need to get your haircut at some point this week, though.
You're welcome. I will. I'll have it cut for the Wednesday podcast. Wednesday. Yeah. Wednesday podcast.
For the episode that's out on Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday.
For the audio podcast.
We record on Wednesday.
Fine, mate. Not a problem.
Bad. You are?
Cool.
I said for the audio podcast.
Yeah.
Thursday,
Yeah. Obviously, yeah.
And
for that.
I was going to say, mate, you don't need to worry about having a haircut. You'll be fine.
Neither do you, Matt. Looks like
I've just had a shave. I just had one today. My wife's cut it while we're watching Spurs game.
Looks nice.
Thank you, mate.
Right.
Did you not, before we started recording, Ben, did you not say to Matt, have you had your hair cut? And Matt went, no.
I don't remember what you're talking about.
I seem to remember that conversation.
Yeah.
I don't. Was it on recording?
No, we weren't recording.
I don't remember that conversation.
Ben's never wrong. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. We're coming up to 200 people subscribers, so please do subscribe if you haven't already. So yeah, thank you all for listening and watching if you're on YouTube as well. We do really appreciate it. We will see you on Thursday for the preview, maybe a Tuesday night, but we'll let you know for the post match. Thank you, Mick. Thank you, Ben.
Looking towards Agard. Ravel, ambitious, but brilliant!